जय रामाधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लवा गिरवरधारी।
यशोदानंदन भज जनार्दन।
यशोदानंदना व्रज जनरंजना।
गुणधीरावनचारि
यमुना तीरा वनचारी।
जय राधा
जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Om Tulsi Ganam Dinachana Chakshumikam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Mano Vetam Taptam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kalamayam Vadate Cha Vadatikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shita Padgamam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri
रूपं
Rupam
साग्रजातां
Tamnitam Tam Tadiva Savadaitam Savadutam Parijanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva
चैतन्यदेव
Shri Radha
श्रीराधे
Krishna Padam
कृष्णपादां
Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamja Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate
श्रीमते
Bhakti
भक्ति
Vedanta
वेदांत
Swaminiti
स्वामिनिति
Namane
नामिने। नमस्ते
Namaste Saraswati
सरस्वती
Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashadesh Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Bhima Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauritase Nama He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvanu Sate Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vancha Kalpatarubhyacha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shivasadiga Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. पूर्वानयत्त कर्माणि भगवचिकर्षय सक्रे व्यनन्ति गुणनामानि कृष्णस्य अनुस्मरन्ति च. While performing duties according to the order of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one constantly remembers him, his names, and his qualities. So, purport, resuming is Sanskrit Prabhupada ki jai. So, before we talk about purport, I'll give a background of the previous verses. So, yesterday we discussed that how Narad Muni had taken remnants of the Bhakti Vedantas, and by taking the remnants of the Bhakti Vedantas, what has happened? His bhakti has gone very high. He attained, his sins were eradicated, and he developed a taste for the personality of Godhead. And after he has developed a taste for the personality of Godhead, Narad boy, now he is describing. So then Vyasdev may ask, what about activities of people? People have their duties. What about that? You're talking about spiritual life. So here Narad is talking about the same duties. So just like if you take too much of rabdi, what happens? Lose motions. Then what do you have to take? Curd, right? You take curd to cure the same problem which is done by another form of curd, that is milk. The same way Narad Muni gives example, the work is a cause of bondage. But when the same work is done for the Supreme Lord, as a seva becomes a cause of liberation. So therefore, everybody should serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So whatever talents they have, whatever things they have, they should use it for the service of the Lord. Then the same thing becomes the cause of liberation. So this is where we learn the formula how to make new people devotees. If we tell new people come and sit in a class, it's a little difficult for them unless they are really interested in Gita course. It's a bit difficult for them. But if you tell new people कि थोड़ा ये सेवा है कर दो, they are very eager to do that. So karma yoga, because see people in this world they want to use their talent in Krishna's service. They have their talent and they feel very nice. और चुपचाप सबको बैठा के सुना दो कि चलो आके चलो लेक्चर सुनो, मुझे थोड़ी बोरिंग हो गया है. It takes some time to gain a taste for hearing the classes. But initially, engaging one's talents is much easier because people could relate with it. And if you see Sri Prabhupada, engage everybody. So though Prabhupada's first audience was hippies, or high into drugs, college dropouts, and some were very intelligent PhDs and things. But Sri Prabhupada engaged everybody. If you see Hagri Prabhu was professor, English professor, but he was also into hippie habits. And Prabhupada gave him whole bunch of manuscripts. Please edit it. Prabhupada didn't say that he's a hippie and things there. He should be pure Brahmana. He edited. You're an English professor, English grammar, edited. And first he edited and gave. He was happy. And Prabhupada gave him whole, you know, almira of full almira of manuscripts. So देखिए ये तो पूरे जीवन भर के लिए assignment. So then the same thing is done for the Lord. So here Sri Prabhupada is saying in the purport, an expert devotee of the Lord can mold his life in such a way that performing all kinds of duties, either for this or the next life, he can constantly remember the Lord's name, fame, qualities, etc. The order of the Lord is distinctly there in the Bhagavad Gita. One should work only for the Lord in all spheres of life. In every sphere of life, the Lord should be situated as a proprietor. Even you go according to the Vedic rites. Even the worship of some demigod like Indra, Brahma, Saraswati, and Ganesha system is that in all circumstances, representation of Vishnu must be there as Yageshwara or the controlling power of such sacrifices. It is recommended that a particular demigod be worshipped for a particular purpose, but still the presence of Vishnu is compulsory in order to make the function proper. So, apart from such Vedic duties in our ordinary dealing, for example, in one's household affair or in our business profession, we must consider the result of all activities must be given to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. The Lord has declared himself to the supreme enjoyer of everything, the supreme proprietor of every planet, supreme friend of it. No one else but Lord Sri Krishna can claim to be proprietor of everything within his creation. A pure devotee remembers this constantly, and doing so, he repeats the transcendental name, fame, and qualities of the Lord, which mean that he is constantly in touch with the Lord. The Lord is identical with his name, fame, etc., and therefore to be associated with his name, fame, etc., constantly means actually to associate with the Lord. So before we go to the next paragraph, we'll just summarize what Prabhupada says, how to engage one's activities Prabhupada has written. One must dedicate everything in the service of the Lord. If one is a learned scholar, scientist, philosopher, he should employ his learning to establish the supremacy of the Lord. Like Bhakti Sarup Damodar Maharaj, he was a big scientist. Prabhupada said, open BI, Bhaktivedanta Institute, and debate with scientists that how God is there. And he would go and debate with the scientists. The Prabhupada uses scientific capability to prove that God is there. And there. So we should find out how we should engage people in service of Krishna. And that is the role of the preachers, of facilitators to engage, find out what the tendencies people have and engage them in the service of Krishna. And if you do that, people can grow very nicely. And that's the way you can make a spark into fire. Same way in our life also, you have to see if we engage our talents in service of Krishna, that's not the end of bhakti, that's the starting of bhakti, karma yoga, in bhakti yoga. There. Like our Ankit Prabhu, he's a good software developer there, and he works in Flipkart, all analysis, all data, he does it. So he said, we'll make a website. And he made so nice website, so many people visit it. And more people come, he's in ecstasy only. And yeah. And then he made a software for taking attendance of the Gita program. It became much easier. So when people engage talent, they become very happy. And now he's so inspired. He wanted to come to this morning program, but I think he's hearing online. So no. So try to. So the people's journey to Krishna consciousness starts from when they start doing some seva. Then Krishna pulls them towards them, being pleased by their service. So try to steady the energy of the Lord in every sphere of life. If suppose you are an administrator, a statesman, warrior, politician, one should try to establish the Lord's supremacy in statesmanship, fight for the cause of Lord as Sri Krishna, as Arjuna did. If you're a warrior, fight for Krishna. If you're a businessman, then give 50% of your money for Krishna. There. Engage Lakshmi in the service of Narayan. There. And the best thing is, after all, to get relief from all material activities, engage oneself completely in hearing the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. And then says that the same material work causes bondage. But same work, when done for the service of the Lord, what it does? Liberation. So when all men's activity are dedicated to service of the Lord, those very activities causes perpetual bondage, become the duster of the tree of work. See how this happened before I go further. See how this happens. You see, what is Nishkama Karma Yoga? If you understand the concept of Nishkam Karma Yoga from Gita, you understand many technical points of Bhagavad Gita and whole Karma Yoga. It says when you do any work for gaining something, it binds you. But when you do any work not for any result, for your purification, your senses get controlled and you develop a vision of Atma, which is called Nishkarmayam. There. So this concept of Nishkarmayam is a very powerful concept. I'm repeating. So if you understand the concept of Nishkarmayam, which is mentioned in the first six chapters of Bhagavad Gita. So what is this neshkarmyam is whenever you do any work aimed at enjoying the results, then you do not get spiritual benefit. And when you do any work for the purification of heart and not for the results of work, you get spiritual benefit. The same work when done for enjoying the results of the work will not give self-realization. For example, people work very hard in software company to get 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 4 lakh salary at the end of the month. But after getting that salary, do you get self-realization? No. You feel head is so heavy. You feel head is heavy and all inclination to spiritual life doesn't go because that work is done with a fruitive mindset. But you do any seva in a spiritual life because you don't get any salary, then ultimately you become serious in a spiritual life. That is the whole purport of it. So when you do anything, offer the results of anything to Krishna, that gives you bhakti and that gives you Atma Gyan and make you serious in spiritual life. When you do something for yourself, that binds you in this world. So therefore the same work is there. But same work is there for our selfish purposes, it binds us. Same work when done for Krishna, it liberates us. Now what to say about work which is not done for Krishna also, not for one's selfish purpose also, selflessly done. So Narad Muni reject that also. No. Nashkarma api achyut bhava varjitam. If any work, even you do selflessly, like charity, selfless, give it to poor people and thing, it will not help you. It won't give you bhakti to Krishna. It may give you some seriousness in a. It may give you some detachment from sense enjoyment, but it won't give you Krishna. Only work done for Krishna will give you bhakti to and take you towards the ultimate purpose of life there. So therefore, Narad Muni is suggesting more and more we do service to Krishna. More and more we do service to Krishna, our work as a service to Krishna, or offer the results of our work as a service to Krishna. ठीक है, okay, you have done some work outside, but offer the results of work to Krishna. So to the degree we do it, offer the results of our work to Krishna. Offer everything to Krishna. What happens? What happens? You get liberated. And same hard work you do in company, you get more bounded. Same work you do in the company for enjoying the salary, it binds us. And the same work when you do for Krishna, it liberates us. Now, अब now devotee say, Prabhuji, तो इसका मतलब क्या? Should we leave up the company job? No, that doesn't mean. Mean what? Along with company work, we should also do good amount of service to Krishna. And whatever results come from the company work, that also you should use it in a Krishna conscious way. You should use it in a Krishna consciousness that Krishna only has given this money to me. Krishna only has given me family to take care. So let me do everything in a service to the Supreme Lord without trying to enjoy those results. And at the same time, engage in more and more direct service to Krishna. Whatever talents, abilities Krishna has given, let me engage in service to Krishna. So more and more our service mentality will increase, more and more we start becoming serious and spiritual. And now the verse says, along with engaging, and therefore, yeah. So it will cease, the conclusion is, when the result of all fruitive and other work is dovetailed with the service of the Lord, it will cease to generate further karma and will gradually develop into transcendental devotion service, which will not only cut off completely the root of the banyan tree, but it will also carry the performer to the lotus feet of the Lord. And Prabhupada gives a summary. First is, first seek out the association of sadhus, the pure devotees, who are not only learned in Vedantas, but are self-realized soul and enlightened devotees of Lord Shri Krishna. And then serve them. When you serve them, then by their mercy, you will able to understand the Supreme Lord. And when you do bhakti to the Supreme Lord, you will be liberated there. And then Prabhupada says here, the conclusion is that a devotee engaged in the unalloyed service of Lord, especially in hearing and chanting of his transcendental Guru, is becomes simultaneously spiritually enlightened by divine grace as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. And now Prabhupada says here, the major portion of a monetary income, not less than 50%, must be spent to carry out the order of Lord Krishna. Not only should we give the profit of our earning to this cause, but we must also arrange to preach this. Okay, Prabhu ji, हमने charity दे दिया, अभी सेवा के लिए मत बुलाओ. No, no, no. Listen. But we must also arrange to preach this cult of devotion to others, because that is also one of the orders of the Lord. The Lord definitely says that no one is more dear to him, that one is always engaged in the preaching work of the Lord's name and fame all over the world. And अब devotee में ask, अरे इतना बच के इतना donation देंगे तो करेंगे क्या? Prabhupada makes a plan. If the people, if as such, 50% of our income may be spent for this purpose. The first process, the Lord Chaitanya has taught a very simple method. Just preach he taught the lesson for preaching the transcendental message through singing, dancing, and refreshment. So, if only the leading and wealthy person of society agree to spend 50% of their income in the service of the Lord, as it is taught by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is absolute certainty of converting this hell of pandemonium to the transcendental abode of the Lord. No one will disagree to partake in a function where good singing, dancing, and reflection are administered. Like Janmashtami, 6,000 people came. आप बोलो गीता क्लास को सुनने के लिए 6,000 लोग नहीं आएंगे, लेकिन क्योंकि जहाँ पे कीर्तन है, प्रसादम है, everybody will come. You celebrate Ram Navami, 1,000 people will come. And for that we need donation. So that's the purpose saying, all people give donation and do so many festivals, whole world will become devotees. There. So Prabhupada is giving a simple method. So everyone will attend such a function and everyone is sure to feel individually the transcendental presence of Lord. This alone will help the attendants associate with the Lord and thereby purify themselves in spiritual relation. And how this should be done? Only under the guidance of a pure devotee. Because if devotees with mixed mentality do, they will make this festival as the aim of earning donations, then giving Krishna consciousness there. And the only condition for successfully executing such a spiritual activity is that they must be conducted under the guidance of pure devotee who is completely free from all mundane desire, fruitive activities, and dry speculation about the nature of the Lord. And no one has to change his position, especially in this age of variegated difficulty. The only condition is one must give up the habit of dry speculation aimed at becoming one with the Lord. And after giving up such lofty puffed of vanities, one may very submissively receive the order of Lord in Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam from the list of a bona fide devotee whose qualification mentioned above, that will make everything successful without a doubt. And when you read, Prabhupada is saying here, give 50% of your earning. That looks very heavy. How many of you feel it's little heavy? Or how many of you are inspired by this statement that one should give 50% of his income? Nobody is inspired. Right? Yes. Prabhupada is saying for his followers. Right? There. But it's very difficult. There. Okay. So, see what Srila Prabhupada's idea is, once his ashram was studying, the people who are big businessmen earning in crores, it's easy for them to give 50%. But those people who are doing job in city, in metropolitan city, you know, so much expenses are there, hardly anything left. And to them, you will tell 50%, they'll get a heart attack only. So what was point was telling? See, we go for yatras, we do expenditure, so many expenditure for devotional purposes. We make an altar in home, you'll spend something for the Lord's seva. So 50% includes all that. And but something like in every religion they say Dasha Ansh Bhagwan ka. 10% one should give as a charity to the 10% or more, one should direct give charity, and 50% include the expenses thing. But those are big businessmen earning big money, they should give the 50% of their profit because already they are earning. so much there. So that's what the Prabhupada means in it there, on a point. And His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, he was a big manager in the Coca-Cola company or a Pepsi, and he would give all of his salary to Srila Prabhupada. And then his wife will come and take from Srila Prabhupada what is required for the and and Prabhupada writes, such a devotee is more than a sannyasi. He was giving everything for the spiritual master. See, the whole point here, why Srila Prabhupada is saying this, or why Krishna is saying, give everything to him, offer the results to him, you have to understand the spirit. Otherwise, many times people misunderstand this teachings. Yesterday, only one devotee was telling, Prabhuji, when you don't go to disco party, discotheque there, the people may think, okay, because all Lakshmi will save, then you will give donation. So people always think when you are speaking, see in this world, whole thing works in what way? What will you get from this? What will you get? Like one Mataji was serving in the deity kitchen. One Mataji was serving in the deity kitchen. His friend asked, अरे तुम फ्री में काम कर रही हो क्या मिलता है तुम्हें? So materialistic people cannot understand what do devotees get in serving Krishna. For them, anything you do should give you something. Otherwise, what is the benefit? And because of that, they keep wandering in the cycle of birth and death. But a devotee understands serving Krishna without expecting anything to please him is the highest occupation, is the highest thing in the world. Even earning 5 crores a month will not give you that much happiness than offering a simple flower without any expectation to Krishna or to love for him. Because fruits of this world doesn't satisfy the soul. And that's just so many billionaires are so empty in their heart, are so frustrated. Because material commodities cannot satisfy the soul. Only spiritual commodity, spiritual love, exchange of love can satisfy the soul. So therefore, Narada is advising we should dedicate all our activities to Krishna's service. And more we take responsibility in spiritual life. More and more we give ourselves for the service of Krishna. More and more we take responsibility for preaching. More and more we start getting liberated from the material bondage. And while doing that, what one should do? Prabhupada is saying, if you see this purport, while doing the services, what one should do? One constantly remembers him, his name, and his qualities. And the best example are the gopis. So whatever they do, they're always remembering Krishna. Even they are churning butter, the Vrajvasis, like Mother Yashoda, in the Damodar month, when Damodar Leela, when the description comes, she's churning butter. And whatever Krishna's pastimes is there, she will put into a song and keep singing. So devotee should, while doing his karma yoga, doing his services, should chant the holy names of the Lord, sing the holy names of the Lord, or play the kirtan. So whatever one is doing, he should remember Krishna while doing those activities there. So when one remembers Krishna while doing those activities, what happens? One will always think of Krishna there. Because Satatam, what Krishna says, Ma Manusmada Yudheja. While doing yoga, you remember me, Arjuna. And it is possible. Now, how can we remember Krishna whole day while doing all our activities? How can we remember Krishna whole day while doing our activities? Can you say? Huh? When we have a nice morning program. If you do nice morning program, nice chanting, nice Krishna Katha, that make you so Krishna conscious that during the day also while remembering doing your activities, even doing your office job, you feel I'm doing it for Krishna. And remembrance of Krishna is there throughout. And that is why it is so much recommended that everybody should come and attend, do morning program. If your home is far, do at home. But one should chant the 16 rounds, do Mangal Aarti, and attend Bhagavatam in the Srimad Bhagavatam class. And that's why we have the online Bhagavatam class also. Okay, somebody's home is far, they're not able to. See, if you come and attend in person is much better. But even you're not able to attend in online. And especially the yoga devotees, you have so much facility, right? You're getting prasadam. So it's your duty to come to morning program on time. If you don't come to morning program on time, you're cheating yourself. You're cheating yourself. Such an opportunity by not taking to this opportunity to come to morning program on time. There, but this opportunity will never come. And if to the degree we can take this morning chanting, Mangal Aarti, and Bhagavatam class seriously, you will see the consciousness will change there. And that's why Prabhupada made a very solid morning program. Okay, whole day you can't chant, right? We cannot sit whole day and chant. Like one time, one person asking, where in Bhagavad Gita is written you chant 16 rounds? And Gyan Prabhupada Prabhupada told, no, Satantam Kirtayanto Mam. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, chant whole day. But you can't chant whole day, Prabhupada is given, at least chant 16. Right? So Krishna has told, okay, you can't, Satatam, Krishna's standards are little high. Satatam, and Goswamis were practically chanting whole day. Chanting or engage in bhajan or reading scriptures, only hardly they have time to sleep also. The Goswamis of Vrindavan. But Sri Prabhupada expected us, okay, we are all Kaliuga Jivas, at least chant. We are Kaliuga Jivas, at least chant 16 rounds. So when you do a good morning program, what happens? When you do a good morning program, what happens? Then throughout the day, it becomes easy to remember Krishna. Yeah. So this whole verse, whole this section, Narad Muni while telling to Vyasdev what way people can perfect their life while doing the duties in this world. Because people cannot at sudden be renounced. They can't suddenly give up their duties. So Narad Muni spoke the verse Tatva Chandam Hare that even somebody give what is the loss. But most of the people will not able to give their duties. They have to show a path how while doing their duties they can achieve perfection. And that's why Narad Muni is talking about core karma yoga. So in summary, I'll give a summary of Bhagavad Gita. That how this yoga paths work. If you understand how the yogic paths work, they'll help you to yes. So if you see here, the See, this the left side path is told by Krishna in the first 6 chapters of Gita. And the right side path is what Narad Muni is telling to Vyasadeva. So these are the two yoga ladder paths by which person can achieve perfect complete realization. So left path is little difficult. The right path is much easier. What actually we are actually practicing, preaching. So there are three gunas. Ignorance. Is it visible? The screen is big, that's why I think quite visible. So in ignorance, person has a tendency to commit sin. In passion, person is attached to results and has a doership mentality. In goodness, person gives up the doership mentality and comes to the knowledge of Atma. And when even one surpasses goodness, come to Shuddha Sattva, there's a time he can become Krishna conscious or he can remember Krishna 24 hours. So what the Gita's left hand path shows that how a person who is attached to results, you engage him in karma yoga. So while doing karma, nishkam karma yoga, without expectation of result, what he comes? He comes to work without attachment. So that's the time he is quite becomes steady devotee, comes to mode of goodness. Then from there he develops a realization of Atma. I am not his body, I am a spirit soul. And from there, the knowledge of Atma, he further meditates on the Paramatma, the super soul. There. That is the Ashtanga Yogi. After coming to the there, by the mercy of Guru, Tadviti Pranipadena Pariprashnin Sevya. And then Krishna says, Yogi Nam Visarvesha Madgatin Antaratmana Shraddhavan Bharitamam Same Yuktamo Mada. Then actually he comes to realization of Krishna. So it's a multi-lifetime process, the transition. So this is what the first 6 chapters of Gita is talking about, which you find difficult to understand. But the the Bhakti path is very simple. We have doership mentality, no problem. Engage in service to Krishna, right? And give credit to Krishna. Then slowly we'll do Krishna conscious activities in its with mood of service attitude. And with that service attitude, while remembering Krishna you do, you become absorbed in Krishna. The activity remains the same. But what is first? Our absorption is in doership. I did it. I want to enjoy. But as we keep moving, what happens? Krishna conscious activities. Then we think, okay, let me do the service for Krishna's pleasure, not to show. Even devotee didn't appreciate it. Don't mind. I will do it for Krishna. So when we are in passion, we are looking for our devotees in appreciation. Kiya nahi kiya, मैंने कैसा सेवा किया. So our more absorption is how did devotees like my seva? Then how did I did it for pleasing Krishna? But as our consciousness increases, we start doing for pleasing Krishna. And by hearing and chanting, so initially hearing chanting absorption is not much. You don't remember Krishna while doing hearing chanting. Just चल रहा है background में कुछ तो mechanically करके. But as consciousness progresses, your hearing chanting becomes very stable, and then remembrance of Krishna is very stable. So whatever you're doing, you're able to remember Krishna. So this right side process, it was Narad Muni suggesting to Vyasadeva. So it starts with taking responsibility. Because see, if we don't take responsibility, we go to a zone of ignorance, sinful life. You're getting the point? So how a person raised from sinful life to complete perfection is the right side of the yoga ladder. And that's what this Narad Muni is talking about. And somebody can understand this. If you understand this, you'll achieve perfection within this lifetime. Because we will have a right focus on our spiritual activity. Then we'll have focus on our spiritual activities. And that's how the right side is being given, which is more simple. In left side, at some point of time, you have to renounce. At the level of Atma, you renounce and you go out in forest to search for Paramatma and then Bhagwan. But in the right side, even while doing activities in the world, you get absorbed in Krishna. Like Mahaprabhu also says. Murari Gupta was a physician. but he was a great devotee of the Lord. There, Mukunda. He was also Mukunda also was an physician in the court of Akbar. There, Mukunda. But they will get into excess even while doing their duties. So they were great Vaishnavas being absorbed in Krishna. And that's what they were associates of Mahaprabhu. So that's what he's suggesting. Who? See, Narad Muni is suggesting to Vyasdev the right path. And one thing is, you engage into more and more Krishna conscious activities, more and more service to Krishna to make progress in his future. And then it becomes much easier. So how many feel this is quite practical way? Right? And that's what whole Narad Muni is suggesting. But while doing our spiritual activities, what is something very important is we should we should remember Krishna there. We should increase our we should increase our focus in chanting, in the holy name and thing. Then you will find that yes, this process is working. That's the whole point. Yes, any questions? Okay, Pranam Krishna Priya. Any question online, you can type in the chat. No, no. Bhakti yogas, they follow the right side. Right side only. See, see, it also means you do all your duties also as a service to Krishna. When you see anything, what is material, what is spiritual? When you see anything disconnected to Krishna, is material. When you see anything connected to Krishna, spiritual. So your duties are material to the degree they are disconnected from the order of Guru, disconnected to Krishna. When your material duties are connected to the order of Guru, under the blessings of great souls, under the follow of the scripture, it is spiritual. And you should do it for pleasure of Krishna. Therefore, a devotee before starting his office, he should pray, "O Lord, I'm going to do this for your pleasure. Let me become more Krishna conscious while doing even my office work." Yes or no? Same way, somebody is a housewife. They should also think, I'm cooking this bhoga for the Lord and to serve my family, and not only has given me this family to serve. But Lord, let me do the service so I become your devotee. I become Krishna conscious. And that's what the verse comes in Bhagavatam. Kayana Mansa Vacha. That whatever activities I do with my body, words and mind, let me offer unto you, unto Narayana. There. So this is something very, very important. And that is why while hearing philosophy, you should not just accept philosophy. You should ask questions. Now today, class is quite heavy, some of the points. But when you ask questions, then you get a clarification. Other you think, oh, it's impractical. No. Whatever our acharyas are giving is practical. You have to understand how to apply it in a practical life. So therefore, if we see our duty as a service to Krishna, then it becomes a spiritual. There. Yes, everybody can take it. But path of jnana is little difficult. But at the same time, one should also think just my doing my material duties is not sufficient. I should offer a part of the result to Krishna. At the same time, what I should do, at the same time, I should directly engage in service to Krishna, make plans for preaching, take responsibility. And while doing all those things, let me get absorbed in the holy name, let me absorb in Bhagavatam, let me absorb in Krishna Katha. So when we do that, we make a spiritual progress. But initially, to contract one act, we should engage in service of Krishna, direct service. Then when you engage in direct service of Krishna, that gives you realizations. See, alone chanting, hearing is sufficient process. But because we engage in material work, we also have to engage in spiritual activities and please some Vaishnavas. So because when we do service on the order of Guru, on the order of the senior Vaishnavas, and you please them by that service, then you get a adhikar to absorb in Krishna. Without doing that, we don't get a adhikar to absorb in Krishna. And that is why we should take more responsibility only for the purpose of pleasing Guru and Krishna. And do it in such a way that Guru and Krishna are pleased, so their blessings come so that we get a taste for Shravan and Kirtan there. So in that way, we can make very fast progress in spiritual life there. So this sounds practical? Yes. See, see, one thing is, first, one's material life should be stable. Means he should have a stable job, a stable family life. Wife is not cursing him every day. Till the time is a duty. Otherwise, mind will not be peaceful to perform bhakti or not. So he has to have some stability of his material life. And whatever he's doing in material life also see his connection to Krishna. He should just simply think, I'm just doing these duties on behalf of for my purification. So that ultimately I attain Krishna's lotus feet. And that's why Krishna is condemning premature renunciation, if you see in Bhagavad Gita. There. And whereas, and then with that base, you should then take more and more responsibility. If your job is not stable, suppose somebody is a grasta, his job is not only stable, then his whole family is in tension only. The other you should be like Tukaram. Get point. Who is not worried only kahan se kya aayega and whatever Krishna sent, he's happy, his wife is crying, shouting, he has no worry only. He's completely absorbing Krishna. So if we can't be Tukaram, then you have to be responsible. Are you getting point? You have to be responsible. But Tukaram did great preaching by his spiritual status. So where you need to have some amount of mental stability in your life. There. And when you have mental stability, because see what happens as you grow in life, your time increases. Then you should give more time to Krishna. The job becomes stable, then you should not then you should think to give more time to Krishna. Take more responsibility for Krishna. So when you keep taking more responsibility for Krishna, serving Krishna more and more, you see mind automatically diverts towards Krishna. There. So that is a balance. Does it answer your question? And that is why counseling is required. How to balance one's life. So we may hear a lot of principles in Bhagavatam class, but at the end of the day, we should hear the principle and then one should check with senior devotees where I strike the balance because they can see what is good for you on a longer run. See, we are not Paramhamsas. We have material desires, isn't it? We have material desires. We are not Paramhamsas. So how we can go to the level of Paramhamsas, what journey track we should take, that's what seniors will help us to decide. You can't jump, right? Suppose it's a 10 feet height, can you jump directly? But a 1 feet height you can step over. In the same way, the devotees create steps for us. We move one step ahead, one step ahead, one step ahead. So finally we go to 10 feet. But you try to jump 10 feet, sometime you may fall and hit yourself. Yes or no? 10 feet kitna hai? This is 15 feet tall, right? If you have to jump over there, there are chances you may capture it or you may fall and hit, right? But if you create stairs over here, then you can easily pass. So the senior devotees, by their maturity, they create a stairs how to take a step-by-step progress in Krishna consciousness. When you speak in the classes, it may look like a 10 feet high building. How will I jump? Right? When we were discussing, many of you feeling, अरे इतना करना है क्या? 10 feet high. But when you take proper guidance from the devotees, then they create a stair for you. Okay, Prabhu, take one step, second step, third step, and then make sure you are at that step. Are you getting my point? Make sure that you are at the highest step there. And that's how even a Grahastha life progresses, Brahmachari life also progresses, and through the life of Paramahamsa. Because ultimately, to go back to garden, you have to become a Paramahamsa, where you just want to love Krishna and nothing else. Shuddha Bhakti. Yeah. That answer your question? Mataji had a question. See, my simple question is, do you try to chant 64 rounds on Ekadashi? Do you get absorbed? Not easy, no. But when Vaishnava blessings come, you will get absorbed. So we don't have adhikar to sit and do bhajan. That happens when whole life you keep pleasing the devoted spiritual master. And he prays, okay, now this person gets a, then you can absorb. By our strength, we can't absorb. And mind will be thinking so many things, घर में ये है, घर में वो है. जब में मन नहीं लग रहा है, मन कहाँ लग रहा है? बहुत सारी जगह पर. So we cannot be like every day chanting 64 rounds. It's not there. One devotee, he went to chant 64 rounds. Prabhupada saying, don't go. But still he went to chant 64 rounds. And after some time, devotees found him in a petrol pump. And they asked him what happened. He said, I chanted for my whole life. It's not easy. You need blessings of parampara to have that taste. So therefore, we have to serve with right service attitude. Only service is not sufficient. The service should be done with the right service attitude, that I'm not doing for my false ego, I'm doing it for pleasure of Krishna. So the service should have that purity and it should get the blessings of the devotees. Then that seva will increase our taste for Shravan and Kirtan. And that's why that seva is very, very important. And when you serve the devotees, corrections aayenge, so many problems will come. That's where we get purified. Right? Some troubles will come with devotees. Devotees will give corrections. Devotees will do. And that's what the purification program is involved with the seva, which is very important to chant the holy names. There. Okay. Yes. Your name, Prabhu? With me. But I explained also, right? What Prabhupada made it. Uh, There was it? Pashwa. Yes, yes. Yes. You offer this flower, leaves, and here you're telling Krishna asking 50%, right? So looks contradictory. No. See, now it's not like this. See, Prabhupada, see, you should understand, one time, one boy went to US. He was earning $5,000 per month. His father told, Pita, give $4,000 to me and keep $1,000. The son had a lot of plans to enjoy, but father ने बोला करना ही पड़ेगा. So he was every month sending $4,000 back, and $1,000 was just sufficient for him to for the monthly thing. After 3 months, 3 years, the son came back to India. He got married, and when he got married, father gave him 1 crore. That's it. But whatever money you were sending, I was saving it. Now your wife has come; she will handle it properly. Now, what would happen if father would not have taken $4,000 from the son? Wasted. No, you would have gone into drugs, alcohol, prostitution, likely. And many Indian boys will respond. But since father took all money, he couldn't respond. The same way Krishna knows when you have extra money, we will bind ourselves. So therefore he says, Baba, you give to me, you will be safe. Yet understand Krishna, yet karosi dasnati dhosi yet tapasasi kante tat kurusha mad arpana. And that's why Acharya will put it. Don't keep anything for your enjoyment, give it thing. Then what happens? You think, अरे मैं इतना मेहनत कर रहा हूँ कुछ enjoyment नहीं होता है better directly serve Krishna and you automatically become a but it may not be so practical for people even living in a city to give 50% of their income. It's not practical because there's so much expenses. One BHK is so costly, or you're taking a purchase of flat, it's so costly. And neither in our classes are suggesting devotees to give 50% of their income. What's the whole point of this? That and Radha Shankar one class is telling, see, when you go for a yatra, go for some picnic, then also expenditure happen. See, now you are not married. Once you get married, if you go for a yatra, it's a 60,000 rupees will go on a yatra only. Flight tickets, आने जाने का, 3 लोगों का registration. So much devotion expenses happen. So that is also done for the purpose of Krishna. There, you make an altar in your house, you invite guests, you invite sadhus. That expenditure is happening or not there. So that may all overall complete 50% things when you take like this. But any religion talks about giving 10% of their hard-earned income to God. Then when we directly give it, we also it is dharma. When you do dharma, then only you get kama, means satisfaction. If you try to enjoy the money which comes without giving charity, that money becomes the cause of misfortune. But when you give it as a dharma, you do your dharma, then remaining 90% will give you benefit. Then remaining 90%, or whatever, remaining Lakshmi will satisfy your needs. Others people earn so much, but so much money goes in children fees, so much money goes in doctor bills, much money goes in hospital, so much money go in lawyer. Where are they able to enjoy? Because they don't do their dharma. But when money comes, people do their dharma, the remaining part give them satisfaction, which leads to dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Then they feel, oh, let me come out of cycle of birth and death. So neither people are getting satisfaction, neither they're getting desire for liberation. They're stuck up because they don't do their dharma there. And that is why the scriptures talk about. See, Krishna is not in need of money. He's Lakshmi Pati. Krishna is not in money. See, nobody should think because of my money temple is getting respected. You don't give, Krishna will provide. Krishna is Lakshmi Pati. He has no dearth of thing. He has no need. By his will only he can create 1,000 temples or 1,000 crore each. Just by his will. He doesn't need our money. But we give to him, we get benefit. And he's engaging us some way or the other. Always remember, Krishna doesn't need anything from us, and neither Swan needs anything from anybody. There. So Krishna is Lakshmi Pati, he can self-sustain everything. There. He can self-sustain everything. Only because if we try to enjoy everything ourselves, we will fall down. If we think, let me enjoy myself, we will fall down. That's why Krishna says, whatever you do, whatever you eat, you offer it to me. So he's not only talking about the income, he's talking about everything. Then whatever you do it for me only. Don't do. So that, and then Krishna said, Shubha Shubha Phale Reva Moksha Sahasi Pandase. By doing this, you will attain moksha also. So we hear only one verse. We don't need the second and third verse in that chapter. So start with Patram Pushpa Phalam Toya. Means, I will please by Patram Pushpa Phalam Toya. But you have extra, if you use it for yourself, you are not going to come back to me. So therefore, that's also good. That's a mode. Like a father telling, beta, keep only $1,000, give $4,000 so he doesn't go into mine. That's the whole point in essence. Okay. My God, we have surpassed the time. Okay, this question online. How to balance charity and seva? Both are different. You can do more charity also and you can do more seva also. Seva you do with hand and charity you do with the results. So both are independent anyway. Yes. Any other question online? Ankit Prabhu, any question? Okay, Kamlesh, last question. Hmm. Oh, no, 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 no. That is, see, yeah, but see, it is helping in your Shravan Kirtan. No? So, what is the problem? That's not your main anga. Your main anga is Shravan Kirtan only. So, if sitting like this helps me in chanting the holy name of the Lord, where is the problem? But am I using it to control my senses or am I just using to assist bhakti? Are you able to understand the difference between the two? See, if I sit stressed and my chanting and hearing is good, then I'm fine. I'm doing it for the purpose of Shavan Kirtan only. No. See, in Ashtanga Yoga, you don't do Shavan Kirtan. You directly straight your body to and try to rise permanent. Then it's a long process. But for your Shavan Kirtan, if you're keeping the body straight, what is the problem? Are you getting your point? Because you're doing primarily bhakti yoga only. Yeah. So I think we end over here. Thank you so much. And